Hi friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm Katie and today I'm going to do a Project Stash Down update for how things went in April and what I'm hoping to do in May. So I'm going to do it category by category and just say how things went and then what my new picks are. So if you don't remember or didn't see the last video about Project Stash Down, it's like a commitment to use as much as possible things in your stash to try and finish them, get them gone. Not because you don't like them, but because stash management is a lifelong project. And if, like me, you like to bring things in, it is a good idea for some things to also go out. So this is an idea I got from Cindy. I'll post a link to her video below. But it's an adaptation from makeup, which is called like Project Pan, which is the idea of hitting pan, the bottom of your makeup thing. So in light of that, I do have some makeup things, but I also have a lot of craft stuff too. Let's do the makeup first. So in April, I committed to using as much as possible this Instant Age Rewind foundation. I put a mark on where I was at the beginning of April, and I'm about halfway. And I used it a lot. Not every day. I don't want to be wearing makeup every single day, but on all of the days that I felt like wearing makeup or willing to wear makeup, this is what I wore. And I'm still eager to try something new, but I pretty much halved the amount that's in here. So I'm actually going to keep this going for May, even though I'm a little tired of it. I think it feels doable and I want to do it. I used this Urban Decay eyeliner a lot in April as well. I didn't really make a visible dent in it. It just doesn't go that fast. I wasn't trying to use it up, just trying to use it. I'm not keeping this in for May. I will probably still use it, but I don't want it to be a part of my stash down necessarily for next month. So thank you for your service. Back to the drawer you go. Also in April was to use this Curl Talk Defining Cream. I did use it every time I washed my hair. The problem is I only wash my hair about once a week, and I didn't make a huge dent in it, although there was already not that much. I'm going to keep trying to use it in May. It's possible I could get to the bottom of it, so we're going to keep trying. This is my new addition. This is a Clinique Moisture Surge Eye Serum, or eye concentrate is the noun they are using. I have this in like a pack of, there was like a day cream and a night cream and this, and I've been good about using the day cream and the night cream, and I've been bad about using this. So I'm nearly running out of those other two. I want to repurchase. I would like to use this up in May, or at least make a big dent in it. So that's makeup stuff for both April and May. Overall, I feel really good about how that went. I feel really proud of how the foundation in particular went. So nothing really like wildly exciting for May, but life isn't always about wildly exciting. For art supplies in April, one of them was to use this notepad as a place that I was writing things down, because I have a bunch of these, and honestly more have come into my house since then. I did not do a good job at this. I used one page, front and back. My idea was like this would be where I would write random notes, and I still want to do that, but I'm going to not continue it for Stash Down in May. It wasn't the right thing. For random things, I always have scraps of paper lying around, and I don't feel bad about using scraps if it's something I don't want to keep. And if it's something I want to keep, this is always kind of lost or not well organized. So this is kind of related to another thing we will talk about, but I've been using this notebook. For example, I planned out today's video in this book. This is from Planners Anonymous, by the way. And that feels better for the things I might want to reference again. And for the things I don't want to reference again, just the random scrap paper is fine. So I'm going to give myself a D on this. I did use it when I could, but not great. Similarly, I didn't do great on this notebook. I'd been planning on doing like a commonplace book where I write down quotes, and I've been doing okay at collecting quotes to put in here. I haven't done great at actually using it. I think I've put like 3 things in there since the beginning. It's a nice idea. I'm not going to keep this attempt official in May. I need to think about what I actually might use this for, and based on some things I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure quotes is the right thing for this right now. A bunch of YouTubers have posted videos of like 50 or 100 things to do with a blank notebook, so maybe I will do a little more soul searching and see. I love this notebook. I want to use it, but I don't have the right thing for it yet. I want it to be like an art journal of some kind because it holds up really well to different mediums. These are my pen tests. And like watercolor works pretty well, and all of these markers. I do use it a little as a swatch book, but you don't need 160 GSM paper for a swatch book, and I only have the 1 page. It needs a purpose, and I don't know what it is. The last thing is stamping inks. I didn't pull out my whole container, honestly, because I moved it, but I did really well at this. I feel like all of my plan with me's this month involved using these, and I'm really proud of the spreads that I made and the content that I made for them. Really pleased. I actually should check some of these because one of them does seem like it's maybe empty, and I should either get rid of it or consider buying like a re-inker or something, because I like this format, but actually the pads aren't great. So I think probably if it's empty, I should throw it out, and when I've made a big dent in these, then buy a higher quality mini stamp. I like the size and the ability to get a lot of colors for not too much storage space, but these are maybe not the ones that I want to continue to invest in. This is my favorite spread that I did with the inks. These are all stamped and then colored with marker. I will post a link to the plan with me, but I loved all of the ones that I did this month with the stamping inks, and it really will encourage me to do more of those even when it's not like a monthly plan. So those are all the craft things from April. For May, I'm not setting myself quite anything as challenging as this. I loved how this pushed me and how it informed all of my spreads for the month. That was really fun and really inspiring. But I think for May, I want to take it a little easier, and then in June, maybe we can do another themed month. Maybe I'm thinking with paint pens, because I have some of those I'd like to use. But in April, I'm going to make it a little easier on myself. I'm sorry, in May, I'm going to make it a little easier on myself. So the things I do want to use in as much as I can in May is when I first started stickering, I bought all of these AliExpress like cheap stickers, and then I bought other sticker books that I like better, and I subscribed to Planners Anonymous, and this stuff hasn't been getting used. I'm going to try and use these as much as I can in May. I think they'll probably mostly go in my daily, so you might not see them a lot in Plan With Me's, but I'm going to use them. I don't really think I will use any of them up, but I would like to use a lot of them. And probably I won't repurchase those when I'm done. My sticker obsessions have gone elsewhere since then, but I can still use them and enjoy them. Speaking of things I bought at the beginning of my planner journey, these. So this I bought as a lot from someone who was destashing, and it's a ton of these really skinny washies, which I thought I would really like, and then my interests have taken me elsewhere. So in April, I'm going to try and use these as much as possible. You might see them in my weekly plan with me. So I'm going to try and use them in my dailies as well. But my plan here is to use this as much as I can in May. I'm not going to finish them, but then I am going to, there's like a craft thrift store in town, which is awesome, and they love washi tape there. So by the end of May, I'm going to use as much as I can. I'm going to see what I like using and what I don't, and I'm going to get rid of what I don't and donate it. I can't really see myself using the glitters or the foils, so I think those are prime candidates to go. I really like my Planners Anonymous washi. I really like my Girl Boss Anna overlay tapes. And this is in competition for space for that. I've got a drawer system that has 3 of these drawers, and this makes up a whole drawer. And I think I would like to get this down to half of this drawer, maybe more or less. Some of these are gorgeous, but there's these here are gorgeous, but they don't have very much tape on them. So honestly, some concerted efforts could really do something. So I doubt I will be finishing much of anything here, but I'm going to use as much as I can, and then I'm going to donate a lot. The last one is something new, and I didn't know how I should feel about putting new things into a stash down video, but these are things that if I'm not careful and conscious about using them now at the beginning, I'm going to build quite a stash. So I was thinking of doing a separate video on this, and I might, but I kind of fell down the fountain pen rabbit hole. So I bought this one with a super skinny tip. I will do a video on these. I just only got them like last week, so I wanted to be more knowledgeable about talking about them. So I got this one, and then like a day later I ordered this one here with a broader nib. And these have a possibility of multiplying for sure. I'm already thinking about what 3rd and possibly 4th one I could get, but I'm not going to talk about that. But really where we potentially have a problem is that I bought these from Goulet Pens, which is a website here in the US that also sells ink samples. And I bought, I think, 15 ink samples, and they are only 2 mils of ink in each of them, so they feel very usable, but they also feel like a thing that I could easily buy dozens of, because they're only like about $2 each, and they have something like 800 colors, and then there are other companies that also sell these. So these have potential to get out of hand really fast, and so even though I've only had these samples like 4 days, I want right now to make a commitment to be using them as much as possible. So these are the 2 inks that are currently in my pens. I can show them to you here on this journal. So this is I'm going to be so bad. This is part of the things that I don't want to, my worry about talking about fountain pens is a lot of them are in Japanese. This is the Sailor Manyo Nadeshiko, which is in my thicker pen, and it's this beautiful bluish purple. This paper doesn't show it off to its best advantage, but it's still gorgeous. And this is the Colorverse CMA, and that's what's in my skinnier pen. So I'm going to try and use these and inks for writing as much as possible because I love using them. I love using the colors. That's why this notebook is probably going to take precedence over the notepad, is because the notebook handles the fountain ink pretty well. It doesn't have any Your mileage will vary based on what inks and what pens and whatever you use, but with these, I have some slight ghosting, but no bleeding and nothing terrible. I'm not even sure how well it shows up on camera. So that's why this is going to be like my just scribbling things down notebook, is so that I can use these and the inks as much as possible in May and going forward. Okay. I had fabric in my stash down for May, and this is not going to fit on screen. I'll post a picture of me wearing it, but I did sew up a shirt, and I do love it, and it's so comfy. This is bamboo lycra, and it took me, I only started this at the very end of April, but I did do it. I haven't sold or cut up the rest of the fabric, so there is extra yardage yet. But today that I'm filming is April 30th, so I have some time yet to do something about it. I was thinking I might want to do a sleeve set because this bamboo lycra is just amazingly soft and breathable and light, but still gives like good skin coverage, because I don't like when like fans blow directly on my skin. I don't know if that's a thing, but so I think it'll make a great sleeve set, and I think I'm gonna cut up a lot more of this fabric that I have left over and make like some little shorts and a little tank top. So still to go. I guess I will commit for that in May, although it might still happen in April. But for May, I'm also going to use another fabric. So this is another bamboo lycra. So again, perfect for this time of year that's coming up where we might be hot. But also bamboo makes great long sleeve stuff where it's light, but you still get, as I said, good skin coverage. And I've got several yards of this. This is called Leafy Greens. It's also from Blended Thread Fabrics, which is where this one is from. And in May, I'm going to sew something out of this. And it's going to be glorious. And maybe it'll be soon, because I kind of want to make something like long sleeve or like half sleeve out of it, I think. And now is the right time of year for something like that. So that is going to be my commitment for May. And then if I have extra, which I will, to decide either if I'm keeping it or selling it. I bought extra with the intention of selling it, so I think probably that's more likely for this one, and I'll make extra stuff out of that one. I've got some colors that match this one in a way that, I don't know, we'll see. Gotta see where the inspiration leads. The last category that I have in my stash down that I don't usually show anything for, but I'll talk about, is in my freezer, which is another place that things have a tendency to languish. For April, my stash down was to use a mostly empty bag of frozen fruit, and I did do that. I turned it into Chia Jam, which is like cooked down berries that you add chia seeds to thicken it, so you don't need as much sugar in it as you would when you're making like traditional jam. But it thickens with this chia, and chia is also like a great thing to be eating, especially for those of us who don't really like to eat fish. It's a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for your brain. So we've been doing that. My husband and I have really been enjoying eating the resulting jam. So that package is gone, and actually we are now in the habit of making more every couple weeks. So when I go to the store, I buy one of these bags of frozen fruit, and honestly, they haven't even been ever going into the freezer. I just cook them down into chia jam immediately, and then I put some of the chia jam in the freezer, but like it only takes up like this much space, like a little deli container, instead of a big bag of frozen chopped fruit. And so he and I have both been really enjoying that, and I'm really thankful that I decided to do this because it's really adding to our diet in a way that I like. In May, I have some frozen rhubarb that I would like to get gone. It's been in there from a previous farmer's market. I will have the opportunity to if I want to, replace it this year in the farmer's market. But I have a tendency to hoard it because it's like not the easiest thing always to find at the grocery store. But I'm going to use it and it's going to be gone in May. So, anyway, I hope you found this interesting and inspiring to use some of the things from your own stash. I have really been finding that I don't know, I'm just trying to make an more interesting shot, but there's nothing really to do here. I have found that this has been a really helpful mindset. You know, because I committed to using these things, I also found myself using other things that have been languishing in my stash for a long time. It's helpful to focus on some things, but it's also helpful to like just be paying attention to the things that are in your stash. So I really recommend doing it. It's been really beneficial. I'm excited for month 2. And if you are looking to do it, post a comment below on what things you might want to use, either up entirely if you can, or you don't have to decide that, just deciding to use as much as possible and to enjoy and to like savor. So I hope you all have a great month of May, full of excellent craft supplies and other things. And if you enjoyed this video, if you hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button and we will talk again soon. Bye, friends.